Hey everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I am Lily Mae, and this is my virtual networking panel. I'm so excited to have a roundtable discussion with some dynamic women visionaries from around the country. And so these are women that you need to know. These are women that you want to support and do business with. So I am just very excited to bring them to you tonight. This is the first of a two-part series. So if you missed this one, then you can join us next Thursday, June 29th at 7 p.m. for the second round where we'll bring more entrepreneurs to you. But first, let's put on a little commercial because as you know, this is the 10th anniversary year for the Glambitious brand. So I started this brand in 2013. I can't believe we're in 2023 already. And so I'm doing a big event in Atlanta to celebrate 10 years. We're going to have speakers, we're going to have panelists. So I believe I have a little commercial. Let's see if I can pull that up for you.
This is my season to succeed.
In everything that I do.
In everything that I do.
I only think positive thoughts.
I only think positive thoughts.
About me and my business.
About me and my business.
I am constantly
luncheon. The purpose of our luncheon is to share with women how to win both professionally and spiritually.
Hi, I'm Janetta Pay here, and I am at the Glambitious All-White Super Bowl Party Brunch. And I participated today just to connect with other female entrepreneurs and to lend my service as a legal consultant and business consultant just to help other women entrepreneurs in their business and in their journey. So I'm really excited to have spoke on the panel today and just also be a vendor at the event.
I had to remember to come off mute. So yes, that is a little preview of what you can expect on August 26th, the Glambitious Conference in Atlanta. We have ladies traveling from California. We have ladies traveling from New Jersey, from Alabama. So if you're not in the Atlanta area, this is a great reason to travel to Atlanta and join us as we celebrate 10 years. So without further ado, I want these dynamic ladies to introduce themselves, and we'll start with Miss Brooke and go counterclockwise.
Hi, my name is Brooke Chanel, and I am an entrepreneur and a mompreneur. I have two amazing boys, and I have a hair company called Wig Out Wigs, and I think we'll go further later.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharisa T. I am the visionary of HR Ministries and I Teach, I Coach LLC. I consider myself a midwife. I help others birth their visions, businesses, books, and I also work with children. I love children, which is my first love. So I'm an educator by trade, but I am now a full-time entrepreneur who coaches and tutors children.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sharon Arundel, and I am the owner and CEO of Inspired Wholeness Enterprise, where I get to do what I do. I am a counselor by trade, a Christian therapist. I am also a coach for couples during pre-marriage, marriage, and divorce care. I'm an author and an ordained pastor, and I'm just glad to be here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Laurel Strong Rich. I'm an entrepreneur, as well as a senior pastor, as well as a certified fitness coach and a bestseller author. I love to empower women, pushing them forward in their destiny and just seeing them reach new altitudes.
Yes. I'm so glad that I was able to connect with all of you tonight because I feel like in this season, we need to do more intentional networking, right? Like as business owners, we have these great businesses, but now there's something called the Great Resignation that happened where 50 million people left their jobs to start businesses. So now every industry is tugging for attention in the marketplace. And so I wanted to curate an environment to where we could say, okay, I need some fitness help. Let me contact Dr. L. I need my hair. Let me contact Brooke. I wanted us to intentionally meet and network. And then, of course, this is being broadcast through other Glambitious channels. So for those of you who are new to the platform, I am Lily Mae, and I help entrepreneurs get more visibility for their business. So for over 10 years, I've been a publicist, I plan events, and overall, my goal is to give women a platform to speak about what they do. So I guess my first question to everyone, and we'll start with Dr. L this time and work our way backwards because I don't want to keep putting Brooke on the spot. Dr. L, what do you feel like in this season most entrepreneurs should focus on so that they can continue to do well? Because it is a challenging season. So what would you, advise on how to shift our focus so that we can continue to succeed?
I think definitely finding your lane. And lots of times we do a lot of comparing, and we just have to really trust God in the talent and the gifting that He has given us, and know that no one can do it like us. They could do the same thing, but it won't produce the same results. And I think when they begin to drive in the lane that they're in, it can shift their confidence and also push them to a new level of courage. And that really helps them to see greater manifestation.
Well, I believe if we could just stop competing with one another, and I guess it's a take from Dr. L, just know what our gifts are and just walk in those giftings. Women are amazing, especially, but we tend to compete with each other, and it kind of, it causes failure instead of success. And so if we could just stop doing that and try to be more of camaraderie, working together instead of separately, I think that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah, I love that too, you all. I think one thing I would probably say is to kind of like stay focused. I know that there are a lot of distractions that comes our way at times, and I think it's hard for, or I'll talk about myself, I guess. Sometimes it can be hard to manage, especially when you are multifaceted. So I think it's a real stickler just to stay focused and to make sure. And one of the things that I do is to just have a plan, like keeping that plan in front of me so that I can keep those big rocks or those goals that I need to work on versus being all over the place, because it's very easy to do. And so if we stay focused, hone in, stay in our lane, like what's been said, I think that'll be what's needed in this season.
So I feel that I think that you should really hone in on the things that you love, because I feel like that points you towards like your gift from God and your purpose for being here. And when it's something that you love, it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. Like, I was a chemist out of college, but I always loved doing hair. And so when I finally quit chemistry full time and focused on hair full time, I was just happier, and really fulfilled in my spirit, And I also feel that people should not focus on like following trends, but I would focus on like setting a trend. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're setting the trend, then you're never having to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's so good, Brooke. And I think it can be really challenging for us when we're on social media and we see so many different things working for so many different people. It's easy for us to be pulled in this direction and pulled like, well, that's working for her and that's working for her. So what everyone said is so important that in this season, we keep our eyes on our own paper and we stay connected to God so that He can give us the steps to take. And we don't follow what Brooke is doing and we don't follow what Dr. L is doing, but I follow the Lily Mae plan, right? Because God has created a different plan for each of us. And if we stay into touch with Him and in tune with Him, then we don't have to feel so much pressure to go this way or that way, depending on the trends that are going on. So I love what you share. And we have someone else we're about to add to the stream here. Miss Angel, if you could come off mute and introduce yourself.
Hello, beautiful queens. I am Angel Conway, creator of Because I Care Too. This business was basically created from being a healthcare professional and caring for people that was diagnosed with coronavirus. And in Because I Care Too, I support and encourage other moms like myself to create and maintain self-care boundaries.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to join us. I do want everyone to have a chance to really brag on themselves and share something that you're extremely proud of. I feel like in this season, it's easy for us to minimize our wins and minimize what we've accomplished because we're constantly looking at next and what we desire next in our lives. We're like, Lord, when is this going to happen? But there's so much we've already achieved. There's so much for us to be proud of. So we'll start with Brooke, and then we'll go to Miss Teresa and Sharon, and we'll go in that direction. If you could share something that you're extremely proud of accomplishing.
Okay, so I started my hair company in 2012. So I'm very proud to say that my company has been around for 11 years. I've rebranded a couple of times, but I'm still here. I'm still a full-time entrepreneur. I'm also proud that with my chemistry background, I was able to create a hair growth oil for my company, as well as I am a Glambitious ambassador. And with the help of Lily May, I have a magazine that will launch July 1st. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
That is awesome. Listen, so for me, I think my biggest glow right now is the fact that I have a whole summer camp going on. So education is my background, and I started my summer camp in 2022 because my business kind of skyrocketed with tutoring due to COVID. And I've actually, this particular go round, which is the second summer, it's a 6-week summer camp, and I have the max of 12 babies. And so I'm excited about that. And though it's small, but I feel like it's big for me, you know? But yeah, and on top of just being able to do that, I've also helped about 40 something people over the last maybe 6 years self-published books. And so yeah, so that's kind of how I got started in entrepreneurship with doing that. And so it's just a blessing, man. I'm excited about what God is doing and where He's taking me and my business.
That is some good stuff, ladies. Well, for me, I reinvented myself, some years ago. I was a fashion designer in New York many years ago. And most recently, just stopped working and decided to take this to another level. When I was ordained a pastor and they asked me where my church would be, I said, beyond the walls. And so when COVID happened, I was ordained in 2019 after kicking and screaming, not wanting to be a pastor. And in 2020, when COVID happened, I started preaching. That's what I was doing, preaching and teaching on social media, my church beyond the walls. And that just kind of skyrocketed. And my counseling and coaching business just became bigger and better. As far as couples go, I have a passion. I believe in the institution of marriage, even though, I've had some rocky places. And so I get to not just counsel now, but also coach some couples back together, or pre-marriage, or since I've been divorced, give some divorce care to those who are struggling through all of that. The journey has not been easy. And so I wrote a book about it recently. I've written several books, but this one about my life, it's called Armored and Victorious, Memoirs of a Crossover Season. And it just goes full-fledged into helping people understand that at the end of the day, God can heal you from any situation, no matter how difficult it may be. So I'm grateful for so many things, but just grateful that I was able to reinvent myself here at this tender age that I am right now.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Everybody's stories are just so encouraging. I'm excited. One of the things that I've ventured out in doing, I've written several books, but this time I did an anthology, and I was able to get 42 women, and these women didn't know me. They just heard the vision, jumped on board, and we hit Amazon bestseller. And it allowed me to be able to, I was like, thank you, Jesus, to take them into new ventures. We just went to London and did a conference, and we're going to go to Dubai and to Africa. It's allowing me to be able to expose them to greater platforms and to elevate them in their destiny, which is my passion. So I love that. And with my fitness, COVID really kind of was a blessing for me because it pushed me out of the four walls, and I really expanded my ministry and fitness virtually, which everybody was in for because they didn't want to be in camp places. And so it's really taken off and allowed me to connect to some other companies to be their ambassadors to really represent. And, African American females really aren't seen that much in the forefront in the health area, and be in God too. So it's been a ministry door and a health door, which is so needed. And I'm just grateful to be used by God in this season.
I need a blowhorn. Congratulations, everyone. My biggest win, I would say, started this year. For the longest time, I've been hearing a lot of like back and forth on should you get certified as a coach? It's not required, and so I did it, y'all. I took the leap and I got certified as a life coach / self-care coach. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations. And the reason I wanted us to, really take a second and share something we're proud of is because as visionaries, we're always moving to the next. And I don't think we really give ourselves enough credit for the journey, for what we've been through, for what we've overcome, and the fact that we are still here and we still have vision and we still have purpose. And so I like to, remind myself like, wait, Lily, even though you're not where you want to be, you've accomplished a lot. And you should give yourself grace and be grateful and really celebrate every small win. So today I sold a ticket to the Glambitious conference, and I was like, okay, a win. I think there's a meme that says a win is a win. And so I was like, you know what? I want these ladies to share their wins as well. Now, in addition to wins, we've all had some losses. And so I do want to ask you to share a challenge that you've had in business and how you overcame that. I'll start and then we'll go to Angel and work our way backwards up to Brooke. But in 2020, I had planned the Glambitious conference in Atlanta. I had people flying from all over the country to come to the conference, spent thousands of dollars. And then the city of Atlanta shut down all of the venues, literally 2 days before my event. My event was on Sunday. On Friday, I got the call from the venue saying, sorry, Lily, we got to shut it down because of the city. Y'all, it was like, no, like it was so like devastating for me because I put months and months of energy into creating this amazing event. And so, that happened. However, I pivoted into virtual events. And so that was a challenge, right? Having to cancel this, having to refund money and go through all of that. But then the pivot was getting into virtual events. And that allowed us to stay relevant during the pandemic because we were still connecting virtually. So that's a challenge that I'll share, and how I overcame it was being willing to pivot. Miss Sharon talked about transitioning and shifting and changing and pivoting. So I want, anyone viewing to not be afraid to pivot. If God has put you in a season of transition, which I feel like I'm always in that season. I feel like maybe we are always in a season of transition, right? That we trust the shift and know that he's only calling us higher. So don't get discouraged in that season of transition, but really trust the pivot because I feel like God is always calling us higher. So Miss Angel, we'll go to you if you want to share a challenge that you had in business and how you overcame it.
So I'm going to veggie back off of what you're saying as far as vision is concerned, because I decided that the way I wanted to structure my business was that I wanted my book, my autobiography, to be like my main thing, right? My main product. And so, again, trying to cut through all the noise of how I should do it and whatnot, I just got stuck. And so like I wasn't doing anything. And I'm sitting up here like, okay. And everyone around me like, okay, Angel, what are you doing? Like, come on, it's go time. Like, let's get this done. And so a good friend of mine had invited me to this writers museum 2 weeks ago. And I went and I was so inspired. I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to get back on track because people wanted me to write my autobiography how they would do it. And God has given me a specific way to write it. And he sent me someone who had the exact same idea that I had. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me cut out the noise and let me focus on this. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, but now I'm back on track. So I'm excited about what's to come.
Wow, that's outstanding, Angel. I would say another element of me, of course, I'm a pastor, a senior pastor at that. And I was in a transitional place because I got divorced. And in that moment, I'm just shocked because here I am going on 50. I'm never expecting to be single back out there again. But in the midst of that, I had to make a critical decision. Do I continue the ministry? We had just moved to Houston, had all these big plans, people following us. It was just a lot on the table. And I shared because I really could have closed the book and just said, you know what, I need some time for me. I need to heal. But I recognize anytime you're a leader, your destiny is bigger than you. So I had to process the pain and still push forward and win the game, as they would say, with God's help. And so whoever's out there, maybe there's been some type of relationship shifting that could be affecting you. Just know that it can really push you into a greater door, because I noticed that it really helped me to even become more fine-tuned, more compassionate, more loving, more forgiving. And it really caused my ministry to really explode forward instead of backward. So wherever you are, don't give up, keep pushing. Know that even though there may be a shift in the relationship, the purpose still goes on.
I guess I just want to say hallelujah to that, because it is what it is. And what can I say? There have been so many obstacles, right? Call them lemons, but I chose to make not just lemonade, but sweet lemonade. And so I even, was able to write a blog about lemons to sweet lemonade. And I realized during COVID, I was a school counselor for many years. That's what I went back to school after losing everything I owned and my business and almost my sanity. I went back to school with a vengeance years ago. The rest of that is history. But during COVID, I came home and I said, I quit my job. And my husband said, so do you have another plan? And I said, no, sir, I do not. But I knew, I had started this counseling practice years ago in 2012. And I just jumped in and started doing that and starting getting opportunities to just speak and speak and speak and speak. And I just kept writing and doing what I do. And eventually I realized this was just an enterprise that I was building, not just for me, but as a legacy to my grandchildren. And so it became paramount, very important for this to go well. And so I jumped in with everything in me. Thank you for my family who support everything that I do, because I get to travel now. I recall someone inviting me to Paris. I've always wanted to go as a designer, and they were inviting me to come as a speaker. And I thought, this must be a scam. And so I didn't look at it for a long time. I kept saying, okay, maybe I could do it virtual. And my husband said, no, you've always wanted to go, just go. And I went, and that led to so many other venues. That was March of this year, actually. And Global Woman Speakers just embraced me as one of their paramount speakers. And to be honest, I don't even remember what I said on that platform. But my assistant said to me, you made the room stood still. So I believe God was just there. And now that I get to plug in with Global Women Speakers and the Global Ambassador, Dr. Tina Lewis, and she has been amazing in getting me to go to all these places and do all these things at my age. I'm 63 years old, and who would have thought? I felt kind of like Moses, you know. I'm leading the people. I'm leading the people, and I am just so amazed and challenged, and it's an honor to meet all of you, you know. And I feel like I just want to tell all of you to not stop, regardless of the lemons. Keep making sweet lemonade.
Wow, that's powerful. I think for me, just to kind of piggyback off what she's saying, making sweet lemonade with the lemons. For me, it's surviving the low months. The low months when the funds particularly aren't there. And it's fighting the voices of, well, should you do this, or should you do that, or should you go get a job, or should you know, all of the things that come up when you are in a financial like situation. And so for me, it is persevering through those low months, learning how to be a base and a bound. And so learning where I need to cut back and what I need to cut from, or what I need to do, or to get creative in those moments, and to make sure that I am creating always, even when it's, you know, I don't have those clients like I thought I would have, or when I thought I was going to have these clients and for whatever reason they decided not to, you know, sign the contract or do certain things. And so learning how to be creative in a weird season. I think, again, lemons out of lemonade, taking what has been dished to you, but not allowing it to sway the vision, if I could say, or allowing you to get on a path where you're just doing all these things just because you're trying to meet the financial need. And trusting God, really, that's one of the biggest things I've learned in low seasons, is to trust him and obeying him, not just trusting him, but obeying what he's saying. And so if he says, yeah, but I don't want you to get a job right now, then you have to trust that he's going to provide. And that's hard, especially when, I don't know if y'all are like me, you want to know everything and you want to have the control to say, okay, like listen, I need the details from A to Z. But, you know, God doesn't always give us those. And that's where that trust is. And so leaning in on him in those months when you don't know where it's going to come from, when things are just not working your way. I call them low months because we all have them, or will have them if you haven't. And just being able to get creative in those things. Maybe like I think someone said about reinventing themselves. I had to do that a lot of times. I really thought that my business would be more coaching, but what I'm learning is my business is more educational than anything. And so I'm okay. At first I wasn't really okay with it because I really was getting away from children. I really did want to do that, but I know that that's my sauce and where God is wanting me in this season. And it's not to be under a school system per se, because the way that I do things is a little bit different. And so just leaning in, going back to someone who said earlier, staying in my lane, but leaning in that. And so I had to take my ideal of what I thought my business was going to be like and get in alignment with him and roll with his plan. His plan, his way, not mine. That's the biggest lesson I've had to learn recently. I'll say that.
Wow, you all have amazing journeys that you all are sharing. I would say one of the biggest challenges for myself as an entrepreneur was 2019. My boyfriend found the perfect salon for me to work there and also sell my wigs and my products and things like that. And then 2020 came, and stylists were forced to shut our shops down, you know? And so rather than calling it a challenge, it's more like a blessing in disguise, you know, and something to really like force me to grow, you know, and become more, you know, flexible and pivot, like Miss Lily May said. And so I pivoted and I became a mobile stylist. So where I go to my clients, they come to me and things like that. And also for my products, I am now the first hair company ever to sell on DoorDash. So I'm so excited about that. And that kind of goes along with when I say, like, don't follow trends, but create them. You know, I'm always trying to think of something, okay, what's a problem and how can I solve it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so.
Well, thank all of you for sharing, the challenge and how you overcame it. I always like to ask that question because I know sometimes as entrepreneurs, it can feel isolating, especially if no one in your friend circle or family has done what you're doing. And so then it feels like the challenges that you're going through are uniquely yours and that nobody else is going through it. But we're all facing some form of challenge as entrepreneur. Like, it looks beautiful on Instagram, but the behind the scenes is a whole different story. And so I like to, really share with people the real authentic experience of entrepreneurship, the challenges that come with it. And I always encourage people, like, I know, Sharisa, you mentioned the math wasn't mathing with your account. You're like, Lord, what's going on here? And so when we get in those uncertain places, we really have to ask ourselves, okay, this season isn't looking like how I want it to look, but what is this season allowing, right? Is the season allowing me more time with family? Is the season allowing me more time to rework my business? Is it allowing me time for self-care? Is it allowing me time with God? Because it's not always going to be a season of momentum and acceleration. Sometimes it's like a slingshot effect where God may be bringing us back a little bit just to let us go into a rapid season of acceleration. And we have to be willing for the pullback when he's trying to prune some things, give us new structures and systems and mindsets about business so that when we get to the promise, we don't mess it up, that we know how to handle it. And so we just have to take God outside of the box as entrepreneurs. I know Miss Sharon mentioned like her invite to Paris was for speaking, but she always wanted to go for fashion. And that was such a good story you shared, Miss Sharon, because it reminded me to take God outside of the box. Sometimes we want him to show up and deliver something packaged perfectly like we want it to show up. But he has something much greater and more grand than we can imagine in store down the road, if only we can trust him in the season that we're in. So I was glad that you shared that story because I've always dreamed of going to Paris, and prayerfully I'll be able to make it to see Usher Raymond this fall, y'all. Prayerfully. I'm involving the God in me seeing Usher again. Don't mind me. I have silly moments, but if you're just tuned in, I've connected these amazing women for just some virtual networking so that we get to know them, who they are a little bit behind the scenes, and then we get to actually support their businesses. So in closing, I want to allow you all to share one way that a viewer should connect with you, because I know all of us are multifaceted, right? We all do a lot, but I want you to share one way that the viewer can connect with you, or one reason they should connect with you, and then how they can do that. So for example, with me, I would say, hey, if you're looking for more visibility as an entrepreneur, connect with me so that I can book you for some podcasts, some magazine covers, etc. And you can visit theglamceo.com for those details. So that's kind of an example. And we'll start with Brooke, and then we'll go around to Sharisa, Sharon, Dr. L, and then Angel.
Okay, so aside from doing hair, I also do coaching as far as entrepreneurship with women, mothers, and also like learning how to create wigs and do different things when it comes to hair. So you can find me on Instagram. My personal page is Brooke Chanel _, and that's BROOKECHANEL _.
All right. So yes, I do tutor queens and kings, but I also do business and book coaching. So if you're interested in writing a book, starting a business, or you need like some guide or some guidance with what to do, I want to start a business, but I don't know how. You can connect with me on Facebook at Sharisa T. If you put in facebook.com, it is Sharisa LT, and that's CHARRISALT.
Hi, well, I'm a counselor and a coach. I have a new coaching program, Push Beyond Silent Suffering in Christian Marriage. And if you want to connect with me, whether it be for counseling, coaching, or one of my books, you can do it through my website at inspiredwholenesscounseling.com.
Hi. Of course, if you are trying to get that body ready for that next level, that marriage, that honeymoon, or just going out with the girls, you need to connect with me. I will give you some good strategy virtually or in person, as well as if you need counseling or just encouragement, life coaching, as well as motivational coaching or one of my books. You can go to me at my Facebook page, Laurel Strong Rich. Facebook page, Laurel Strong Rich.
Hey, beautiful people. I am Angel Conway. If you are a mom in need of support on your self-care journey through tips, encouragement, and a whole lot of love, you can connect with me on Facebook in my Facebook community, Self-Care Club for Working Women of Faith. Again, that's Self-Care Club for Working Women of Faith. And remember to do something to take care of you each and every day, because health is life and life is love.
Amen. And so I'm going to have each lady put in their link under the comment. So wherever you're watching this, if you're catching the replay, the links will pop up below shortly, because I'll have every lady go in and put her link so that you can click on them in case you missed the spelling. But I just want to thank these dynamic ladies for spending some time with us this afternoon, for sharing some wisdom, some inspiration, and just kind of giving us a peek into their actual journey as entrepreneurs. I implore you to support at least one of these ladies in business. If you need fitness, if you need coaching, therapy, if you need a speaker, whatever you need, these ladies have it. Definitely connect and support their business. In this season, collaboration over competition is the theme. So as often as you can support another woman's business, I promise you, you are sowing seed into fertile ground, and it's going to come back to you. My entire platform was built off of providing a platform to other women. It wasn't putting Lily in the front. It was always putting other women in the front. And so in doing that, the karma has been illustrious for me. And so anytime you sow into a woman of God, you are sowing into fertile ground. And I can definitely speak on behalf of all of these women and say that they are women of faith. And so I thank God for attracting these women to my tribe. I love connecting and talking with women of faith because we have a unique perspective. You know, it's like we're in the world, but we're not of the world. So we have our own language, and I'm always excited to be able to have that dialogue with you. I see someone put a comment here. Let's see if I can put up their comment on the screen. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, there it is from Fox Coffee Shop. She said, great show, beautiful women. Sherry Joyner, she made a comment and she said, blessings. Okay, so thank you all for commenting. If you're catching the replay, I definitely encourage you to leave a comment. Let us know, what your thoughts were. If something inspired you, if something encouraged you, definitely leave a comment so that we can continue this chat offline. My final call to action of everyone would be to consider joining us for the Glambitious Atlanta Conference on August 26th. I implore you to fly into town. Atlanta is a wonderful city. I lived there for 14 amazing years. It's where I started my business. I built my empire there. So it's a wonderful city to visit. And if you need an excuse, I feel like the Glambitious Conference is a pretty good excuse to come to Atlanta. I'll play the commercial here before we end so that you kind of get an idea of what to expect.
It's my season to succeed.
In everything that I do.
In everything that I do.
I only think positive thoughts.
I only think positive thoughts.
About me and my business.
About me and my business.
I am constantly
luncheon. The purpose of our luncheon is to share with women how to win both professionally and spiritually.
Hi, I'm Janetta Pay here, and I am at the Glambitious All-White Super Bowl Party Brunch. And I participated today just to connect with other female entrepreneurs and to lend my service as a legal consultant and business consultant, just to help other women entrepreneurs in their business and in their journey. So I'm really excited to have spoke on the panel today, and just also be a vendor at the event.
Yes, so we do have actually a few panelist slots and vendor slots available as well if you want to join us on stage or come and sell some products. So again, definitely, prepare to come on down to Atlanta for the Glambitious Atlanta Conference. Again, thank you to you ladies for showing your time with us this evening. It has been such a full conversation, and I think we need to have more of these, right? We need to have more intimate dialogue amongst each other so that we can be encouraged, so that we can connect and continue to thrive as business owners. So thank you all for tuning in. The replay will definitely be available. If you caught this at the end, I see we have some viewers that may have came on at the end, but the replay will be available whatever platform you discovered it on. It'll be there in a matter of moments. So thank you for tuning in.